Cool. Thanks for connecting with me again, man. Tell me how's your sales year been?
It's been good. It's started to actually kind of speed up these last like 3 or 4 months because like the rates have been changing and stuff. Been doing a lot of investment deals this year for sure. So
It's
a
the
lot.
time. That's why I'm here, man.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's been pretty solid though. I can't complain.
All right, cool. That's good to know. I know the in general, like transactions have been pretty low, and so when you get paid on transactions, it can be rough.
Right, right, exactly. So definitely has been a an off year for sure, but it's the real estate roller coaster, I guess.
Well, hopefully I can help you out there. Hopefully we can work together and hopefully get a couple deals done this winter if we can make it happen.
Yeah, yeah, for
Cool,
sure.
man. So we talked once, but I do want to just refresh and make sure we got, especially because I just talked with this other realtor, want to make sure
Right.
we get all our expectations right and come up with a workflow. Because my vision is to put in a ton of offers um, over the next couple months,
Okay.
um, and see what works out, find out where the real sellers are.
Right.
And we want to come up with a good system. If you've got a system, I'm happy to use your system, but come up with a good system to get in as many offers as we can and see what we can get.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my systems is, I mean, the fastest way to get offers in is usually like the verbal kind of stuff, but that's, a lot of realtors don't
I
really
have
like the,
trouble. Yeah, yeah. I like that. It is fast, but I feel like offers aren't taken serious unless they're in writing.
yeah,
Half
yeah,
the time, verbal, they don't ever make it past the realtor.
right,
They don't
exactly.
ever make it past the agent. So I'd like if we can to make I mean, feel it out, right? If it's just not going to happen,
Yeah,
we don't need to waste our time. Take the temperature. But
right. Yeah, I think
but
the upfront call is like important, right? So like once we find, your list or whatever, calling them and just seeing if like, hey, this is probably where we're gonna come in at. Is this something that y'all would even entertain? And if they're like, paper it up and send it to us, cool, we'll do that. If it's just like an upfront no, then we kind of move past that one, and so we can save some time that way.
yeah, yeah, I'm down with that. Especially on like new listings, if it's only been on the market for 2 weeks or whatever, I wouldn't. I'll still give them an offer, but I wouldn't expect that somebody's gonna take 85% of list price
Yeah, right off the
two
bat.
weeks on the
Yeah,
market.
right.
Um, I'll still give them an offer. The worst they can say is no.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I always say. I mean, worst they can say is no. So.
Right, right. So, cool. So sounds like you're down to put in a ton of offers and see what we can do.
Yeah, no, 100.
Um, cool. So I do have I do have a spreadsheet, as you might imagine, that kind of has every every house within the west of Lubbock,
Right.
sorry, west of University Avenue on
Uh-huh.
it, sorted from the best deals to the worst. Um, and um, kind of vaguely, I gotta sort through them a little bit to make sure they're not fixers or whatever. Um, and we'll kind of work with that. But maybe, yeah, we'll come up with a template basically for how to submit offers and kind of what um, I'm sure you already got a system for making a phone call and feeling out the situation.
Yeah.
Um, so a couple things. I am open to seller financing if they have a lot of equity or something like that
Hmm.
in the house. Um, if they want to charge me the same interest rate that I can get from a bank, I'm not really interested.
Right.
I would much
The
rather
case
work with a
most times where
professional.
it's above prime, with the owner finance, it's kind of rare to see something that's lower interest rate.
Um, what's that?
So like on owner finance, generally they try to charge you, prime plus a couple points. So, if prime interest rates are 7%, then they're going to be, 9, 10% usually.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So I'm not interested in any of that. I have
right.
perfect credit, and lenders are going to be thrilled to work with me.
Yeah.
Um, if they want to give me like a 3% interest rate or something so that I can pay a little more, so they
Right.
can get a little more money and maybe get their money over time so they don't have a big tax bill or something like that, we'll we can work with it. I'm happy to put in an offer that is a little bit higher with a little lower interest rate
Right.
if somebody wants to do that. My preference really is just to work with the professionals for lending, um,
Yeah.
um, so that because they have their systems for how they take payments and all that stuff. Um, I'm certainly not going to pay a 9% interest rate to somebody to.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I've got great credit. I've got great credit. Um,
Yeah.
um,
I think just nailing down like the upfront details so I'm not having to ask you every time.
yeah, that's
So like
cool.
usually I write up an offer, 1% earnest money, 10-day option period, $100 option. That's kind of how like just like the
Right,
base
right. So 10-day option
offer.
period, that where I can cancel anytime, right?
Right.
What's the $100 option about?
Yeah, so the $100 for the unrestricted right to terminate. It's just $10 a day usually.
Oh, so I
Um,
pay him $100 if I do cancel or whatever.
Within the first 10 days, yeah. So if the inspection
That's fine.
comes
That's fine.
back, and
That's
then
fair.
um, and then the earnest money, sometimes people want to do less than 10% right now. So I've had a couple investors where like if the property's 90 grand, they want to offer like 500 earnest money. So if we could just have like a stipulation of like if it's going to be 1% or like if you want to have like the exact same amount of earnest money on every single contract, just so it's like easier to submit them. So I'm not having to ask you multiple questions about like what's the earnest money on this one, right? So that's a big question that I think could be answered
What's pretty standard in the area? 1%?
yeah, 1% is generally
All right,
standard.
let's do 1%. That's fine.
Okay. And then obviously 30-day close on most of them. Trying to think what other questions. Do you generally ask for like a home warranty on your investment properties or no?
I don't think I need a home warranty, no.
Okay.
But
Uh,
we do want the sellers to pay the commissions,
right.
which I think is standard, right? What else?
Anything other than that? I mean, usually seller pays for title policy,
Right.
usually like on survey, I just have the box one checked where it's seller will provide one if it's not acceptable, buyer buys a new one. Um, so that's kind of the general questions. I don't think there's anything other
We
than
want to leave in the appraisal contingency, leave in um, well, I guess 10-day period, but for the inspection,
right.
which we should be able to get done in 10 days.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, any other kind of things that we need to hash out for
No, I mean all that's pretty standard. So, I can usually drop those offers in like 10 minutes. So if
cool.
it's nothing that's out of ordinary, it doesn't take me long.
Cool. That being said, yeah, let's put a deadline on them too. Um,
Okay.
um,
General deadline of if you don't hear back, the offer becomes null and void within 72 hours. That's the law and for the Texas Real Estate Commission.
oh, okay, okay. So that seems reasonable. But really, I don't want to end up in contract with
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
multiple properties all at once. Um, but I still want to be able to put in offers while I'm sitting there waiting for them to mull it over.
Right. Generally,
Uh,
I mean, they get back to you pretty quick. It's just in a reasonable and like timely manner is how it's worded. But um, as long as there's not like multiple offers that they're trying to review, which we don't really get a lot of that unless something's like super discounted on the market. Um, so, I mean, as long as it's a pretty traditional deal and they're motivated, they usually get back with you pretty quick. So I don't think there's going to be many issues with overlapping contracts.
cool, cool. And if there is, sounds like I can, the way we'll have it written up is I can just cancel one of them for $10.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Cool, cool. Um, yeah, what else we got to go over, man? Um,
I don't think
yeah, what's your
there's
system? You use the same software as Dylan, I imagine, some sort of DocuSign situation.
Yeah, I use Dot Loop. It's just like a little bit more like user friendly. It's basically DocuSign.
Okay.
It's just I have like all my templates in there and I can upload it and it's just like really quick. I've used it like ever since I started in real estate. So it's essentially the exact same way for you on like the back end. You just go in there and you like click the boxes to sign. So nothing really
Cool.
changes for you.
Cool. I think we talked about this before, but you have a couple of rental properties of your own, dude?
Yeah, so mainly I've just been like flipping stuff this year. But I do have three properties currently. Two I'm like kind of working on and just gonna sell them. The other one is just like a long-term renter in there. So um
Okay.
that's what I kind of have now. But yeah, I've flipped like five, I think, this year. So
All
um
right. Yeah, that's bold, man. I feel like it's a harsh environment for flipping right now.
it is. The beginning of the year, it was nice. Stuff was moving, and now it's like anything over like 160 that's a
Mhm.
flip is just sitting on the market, unless it's like, four bed, two bath, 1,700 square foot, and it's like, 170, that'll probably move. But I did have like a higher end flip that I was doing. Um, and it was in a really nice area and it's worth about 350. And so anyway, that one's kind of been taking a little bit longer. It was a hoarder house. So that was a fun one.
All right. All right. I've never done a flip, but the hoarder house doesn't seem terrible. It seems like you got to make a bunch of trips to the dump, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in general, hopefully you don't have to redo the plumbing or the electrical or something.
Yeah. No, it wasn't there was a lot of like different electrical in that house, so we had to like get it up to date, but it wasn't anything that was like major. It was really just a lot of cosmetic stuff that had to be done.
Okay, cool, man. Cool.
So
I think that's bold. That's bold. I think that I admire the flipping because I find that to be stressful.
right. Yeah, I mean, I always enter like in with, okay, if worst case scenario, I just refi and rent it for a
Yeah.
year while I wait for the market to improve. So, at least I'll have 20% equity and then, can move on to the next one.
Right, right. Because if you bought it on the cheap, I assume to flip it, you can refi and get your money back out anyhow.
Yeah, you can cash out refi, or sometimes I just leave the equity in there and then, just roll fees in from the refi. And then it's just all the money's like tied up, but it's in equity. So you just let the renter pay your fees for a year. And then if you want to sell it, you can do that as long as it's not like trashed by the renter or something.
Cool, cool. So I'm gonna lean on you a little bit as the expert in your market there. I mean, I watch it, but I look at it from statistics, right? So
Right.
you're in it on the day to day. I'm just looking at spreadsheets and numbers. So by all means, let me know what you see.
Okay.
Um, by the numbers, what seems to me the sweet spot is like these ones that I showed you, which is like a three-bedroom home, right around the 100K mark.
Right.
Um, ideally, nothing, I think we talked about this, nothing with bars on the window, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Good areas, B neighborhoods. Yeah. I've
B
got two.
neighborhoods ideally. Um, but I'm also open to A neighborhoods and buying more expensive properties if we can make them cash flow. I would prefer, A neighborhoods, you know,
Right.
$350,000 properties if I can fetch, $3,700 in rent, right? Uh,
Right.
because I know apparently the 1% rule is hip around there. It doesn't quite work with our interest rates right now,
Right.
but
Right.
it's
Exactly.
close. It's close.
Yeah. There's one that I have in mind that I'll send you. I think it's 330K and rents are 1650, one side 1750, the other side. It was built in 2005, 2006. So it's newer. It's in an A neighborhood, so South Lubbock. Um,
Hey,
that's like the
let me see if see if it's the one on my list here. Is it 3114 109th Street?
Yep, one. So I walked one unit of that one, and it's not like in bad
It's very
condition.
close. It's very close to the to hitting the right numbers.
Yeah,
So
that one.
let's put an offer in. Let's put an offer in, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think that's like the only one that I've found that's semi new in an A neighborhood that the numbers actually pencil because a
Right,
lot of
right.
them are like 380K and they're rented for, 3,000 a month or 2,800 a month and it just doesn't make sense.
Right,
So,
right. I mean, I would love it, and I keep trying. I keep trying to force it, and I'm like, don't start fudging numbers. It's a bad game to play.
yeah, yeah, it's
But if
hard
you
to
see
do it.
something like that, I'm all game. I would um technically I'm approved for 430,000
Okay.
through conventional financing, but if I were to go like the DSCR route, we could probably make anything work.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Well, I guess do you still want me to walk that one that we had as the first walkthrough?
Yeah, if you could just I mean I'm pretty sure this last guy said I told him I could go 95,000 and he told the other realtor 90,000 and they said write it up and I'm like let's do 90,000.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we'll put in a deal, but I would prefer if you had your eyes on it first, just so you can you know what we're talking about and you can
Right.
bring up any red flags or anything that you see. The only thing that from the video that I saw, the only thing that worries me or not worries me, it doesn't have a dishwasher, which is a house that I would not live in, but I'm sure
Right.
somebody would.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, generally on some rentals, it's a big deal, but for something that's like this, 3 bed, one bath, I don't think it's going to be, a huge, huge deal for the dishwasher to be in there. And they're really like, if you have the cabinet space, they're not hard to like install and put in and make it drain with the sink. So it's not a super big process to
Yeah,
put.
yeah, to put one in, and I would be open to that if it were to fetch more rent, but I don't think it would.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I see fetching more rent is providing appliances. So if you like put a fridge in there, put a washer and dryer in there, you could probably get a little bit more for rent. If you did
Okay.
that. Other than that, there's not really any rent increases that you can do, unless, you do buy something low and have it remodeled
Right,
and that's
right.
what you're looking to do. So
Which I'm open to that in the future. Right now, I just I want to get some things tied up. I feel like it's a good a good time in the market to be a buyer.
yeah, for sure. 100%. So, okay, well, let me go walk that one. I think we've kind of nailed down all the details up front. And then we can see about making an offer on that one and I can send you a couple other ones I have in mind too.
Cool. And I'm this duplex. I'm all happy to make an offer on it. I think we said what did we say? 3114. Let
Yeah.
me scroll over here. Too much data, too much data. Um, so yeah, that one looks like it makes sense at like uh 305,000, I think.
Okay.
It's still pretty new on the market though, so
Yeah, I mean, from like my conversation with the listing agent when I went and looked at it, I mean, they seem to be semi-motivated. So,
okay. They would be
um,
open to it, maybe,
yeah,
or
we can.
they would consider it, they would look at it.
Right. So we can write that up and see what they say. Like
Cool.
I said,
Do you have video of it by chance? I've only seen
I don't have video. The tenant didn't want us to do any video of the inside,
but you
so
feel
some
pretty good
tenants are
about
kind of
it.
like that. But it wasn't bad. I mean, it's Formica countertops. It's got LVP flooring.
It's a rental, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a electric fireplace, which is kind of a selling point, and then it's just a 3-2 each side.
But I
So
look at what I'm excited about is it's actually rented for the number that they claim it will rent for.
right,
It's like
right.
I do see a lot that are like, oh, this market rent for this is 1,800, and I'm like, I don't know. Last time it was for rent, it was for rent for 1,100.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's not about like what the market rent is whatever someone's willing to move in and pay, right?
Right, right.
So um
Um, I do have another question for you, just to seek your input. I see a lot of, it seems like I see a lot of homes that were like 1950s, and then I see a lot of homes that are late 1970s. That seems to be when the two times when Lubbock kind of went through a building boom.
Uh-huh.
Um, Anything to watch out for those particular kind of years, like the 1950s? Are they going to have iron sewer mains or whatever that rust through?
Yeah, so that would be a big thing I would look out for would be, clay Orangeburg piping in the sewer lines in the yards. That was a real big thing. Mainly in the 50s, they started to switch more to cast iron in the 70s, but like I have a rental property, we had to
Do you think
replace
the
them.
clay's a problem? Because I think the cast iron's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, so the cast iron, the thing with that is it starts to get scale build up, and then in the
They rust
inside.
through eventually.
Yeah, and it'll slowly like kind of get smaller, smaller, and smaller until it fails. The thing with clay piping is you get a lot of root intrusion in it.
They break, yeah.
So, but just because it's not super sturdy, the roots kind of get in there very easily.
Okay.
So, those are just the main things. Other than that, like, out of date electrical, a lot of the houses built in the 50s, the panels have like old, like bus fuses in there. And so a majority of them have been updated through the years, especially if they've been turned to rentals. Um, so that would be a thing to watch out for. But I mean, other than that, there's not really, I mean, obviously like lead-based paint, but majority of the time it's been painted over 10 times since it was built. So, some people want to do lead-based painting, but or lead-based testing, but you have to drill
Testing.
holes in the wall and it's a super big process. But I've never had any investors do it, but it is an option to get that tested for.
Have the testing. So
Yeah.
if you could, when you do walkthroughs, do you check out the panels?
Yeah, I check out like I try to look at every major system, try to find a date on the HVAC system. Sometimes they'll be
Cool,
on there.
cool. Yeah,
I
that's
look at
the other thing I was going to ask you. Look at the HVAC, look at the heater, look at the AC. Make
right.
sure. I just had to replace one in this duplex. I don't
Yeah.
expect you to be an expert at it or anything, but
Yeah, I try to check for the
if it
ages. I turn it
squeals like a
on if
banshee
the
every time it turns on or something, maybe.
yeah. I look at the return air, the filter, just to see, if they're actually changing it. Most tenants don't really change it. You can get a tenant that goes in there and actually will change it. But what I do for my properties, I just do a quarterly check-in.
Hmm.
So, I'll go walk it and make sure everything's like, up to date, functioning. If you have a good tenant in there, usually they let you know if they have any issues. But sometimes they're like, well, I don't want them to upcharge my rent or maybe make it my fault. So I don't want to say anything. And then, you have a water drip leak that just goes into,
Turns into a
everything. And then
disaster
you
and
have to
rots out the
do,
floor and yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I just like to check in and see it with my own eyes. Obviously property management will do that for you too. So,
yeah, yeah.
uh, so yeah, that would be the only thing that I'd kind of look out for up front. And then I'll go walk this one, here today. And then I can let you know what I think of it. And then we can look at the one on 109th too.
Yeah, cool. Let's do it. If you feel good about it, send me the paperwork today. I will we'll get the process rolling. Uh,
Okay.
I fully expect to have people turn it down the first time, and then we'll go back in like 30 days if they're still on the market and give it to them again if you're down.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I've seen that work a couple times. And like I said, I mean, been mainly doing investments this year, and it's not out of the ordinary to get something 15, 20K off list right now. So,
The
uh,
sweet spot right now looks like about 85% of list price is really what works for me. So
right. Yeah. And I think like average right now is like 92%. So we're not far off from where
okay.
stuff is selling at, anyways. So,
Cool. I think we talked about this last time, but and we got this recorded. I it's not a popular YouTube channel, but I'm in a real estate investing group.
okay.
And I make videos for new investors.
Yeah.
You happy to be on that channel at some point with this video? And if so,
Yeah.
you want to pitch your services in case somebody happens to be in Lubbock?
Yeah. No, we can definitely do that for sure.
Well, all right, people. This is Colin Melton, Brick and Loft Realty. Look him up
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, if you're ever in Lubbock looking for investment property, my number is 806-999-5353. Give me a call.
Cool. Yeah, send over, take a look. I think I said 90,000 for that one. I would feel weird if you put in an offer on a house you didn't see. If
Right,
you
Bill
feel
Walk.
okay with it, send it to me.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we'll do the other ones too, since send the paperwork over, man.
Okay, cool. Sounds good, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, Colin.
Alrighty, later.